Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book is a book that I've been trying to complete. I was starting and I was stopping on it for as long as I can remember, probably since 2021. So about 5 years, y'all, I finally read this book from front to back in about, I want to say, maybe like 2 months, maybe around 2 months. It took me to complete this book. I could have read it quicker, but I didn't dedicate the time to read as many pages as I could at a time. Sometimes I do a chapter a day, sometimes I do 5 pages a day or 10 pages a day. I probably would skip certain days. And the reason why it took me so long to actually read it from start to finish was because I would read a good amount of the book, let's say 100 pages or 175 pages, and I would stop reading it for about months and months and months and months. I'm like, man, I gotta restart it because I don't remember what the other information was saying, right? And this book, what I learned from this book is you have to go really deep within yourself, like really understand who you are, like ask yourself the hard questions, and such as do I care what people think of me? uh am I my own worst enemy? Am I stopping myself from getting to where I want to in this life? Am I using my environment as an excuse? Am I using other am I using peers as an excuse to why I can't reach the next level? Am I using drugs? Am I drinking? Um am I not being bold enough? Am I being bold enough? You gotta really answer you gotta go inside and you gotta ask yourself the hard questions, you know? And once you're able to do that, then you're able to be honest with yourself. And then you're able to once you know yourself, then you're able to manifest what you want out of this life more efficiently. Not necessarily faster, but more efficiently. I think my favorite so let me give a overall summary of how I looked at the book. Like, not a summary, but in one sentence, if I can say what I learned from this book. What I learned from Think and Grow Rich is that if you go inside of yourself, like really dig deep inside of yourself, and declare that you're gonna obtain this certain amount of money, and you really stand on that, and you don't go back on that idea, that you really tell yourself that you're gonna have it, then you're gonna have it. So yeah, that's how I looked at the book. Like, you gotta be clear and you gotta be precise on what exactly that you want, and you just have to go after it. And you're not supposed to retreat or quit when things get hard. You're not supposed to give up on yourself whenever things are not going your way, because if you planted a seed in your mind that it's gonna happen, then it's gonna happen. It's only a matter of time. That's literally what I got from the book. My favorite story, because there was a lot of stories in this book. My favorite story in this book was, it was about a man. I can't remember his name, but it was about a man. He wanted to make $1 million, right? He wanted to make $1 million, and he was thinking of how to make this $1 million for years and years and years, right? And he just couldn't figure out how he was gonna do it. But one night he decided, you know what? I'm going to have this amount of money within 1 week. right? He said he's not going back on that idea. He's going to figure out how to obtain the money within 1 week. He was going to have $1 million, right? And he did like something that was brilliant. He had a brilliant idea. This man went and made a seminar on what I would do if I had $1 million. And a lot of wealthy people showed up to his seminar, right? And he got up there. He did it with no script, no prompt, no nothing. He just spoke from the heart about what he would do if he had $1 million. And he got up there and he said what he would do within, I believe, 30 minutes. And so by the end of this, it was about 30 to 60 minutes, if I can remember. By the end of the seminar, one guy stood up, he went to meet him and greet him or whatever. And he told him, I will give you $1 million. He wrote a check to this man and he gave him $1 million. And he got his $1 million within a week. Like, y'all, this was in the 1930s. This book was wrote in the 1930s, y'all. $1 million back then. Do y'all know how much money that is in today's time? Is wild. Like, to manifest $1 million within a week back then, like you set for life. And all that man did was declare something. All he did was declare, and he was gonna stick to his word. And I can't forget that he also said what he was gonna do with the money when he got it. See, that'd be a lot of people's problem. They want something, right? They pray about it. They may even work for it, but people be all in it for themselves. They don't tell God what they gonna do with the money if the Lord was to bless them with it. You gotta be of service to people. Think about any wealthy person that made a lot of money in their lifetime, right? They had a service. Look at the richest man in the world currently, Elon Musk. What he did, he has a service. He made the first self-driving cars. He's the owner of. He made people be able to express their minds more on. He bought Twitter. It's called X now. He allowed people to express their minds more on Twitter, or X is what it's called now. He's brilliant. He had a service for people. Look at Steve Jobs when he was alive. What did he do? What was his service? He was able to build the first personal computer, the Macintosh, right? Because back in the days, computers used to be crazy expensive and they used to be huge and they were only found in corporations. But Steve Jobs was able to make a product, which is a service to the people that allow people to be in their comfortable homes of their own and be able to use the Macintosh. He was the first one to be able to put buku amounts of songs on a device, which was called the iPod. At first, you had the CD player and you had the MP3 player and you had the radio. It wasn't, you weren't able to have your own personal songs that you wanted on one device that you could you could have like over 500. I think it started off with 500 songs that you could have on one device, which was crazy back then, right? Because think about a CD player. How much songs is a CD gonna have on it? Let's say up to like 20, 25. But you had this, Steve. I'm making a video, folks. You needed some?
Wow.
Oh, okay. Appreciate it. But he was able to come up with this mini device and it holds 500 songs. Do y'all know how incredible that was back then? Like, that was crazy. But what I'm saying is, I'm include one more example. Henry Ford. What people was doing back in the day, they had horses to carry them around and to allow them to travel throughout this world. What Henry Ford did, he made the first automobile and it was able to, Look at what cars are today. And look how much money he was able to make off of his idea. And when you go back and you look at these ideas, a lot of these ideas were considered crazy to people. Like, people wasn't rocking with the fact that, like, bro, you finna make an automobile. Nah, I stick to my horses. You finna make a iPod. I'm gonna stick to my MP3 player. I'm gonna stick to my CD player. I'm gonna stick to my radio. You finna make self-driving cars, and I'm finna stick to my cars where I can steer. But now look, we not all of us. A lot of people are using self-driving cars now. A lot of people have Teslas. A lot of people have iPhones, not just the iPod. We have iPhones that's able to hold as many songs. You can have millions of songs in your phone if you want to. Like, we have the iPhone, the iPad, we have all these Apple products, right? That was doing crazy back in the 70s and the 80s, right? When Apple first started. And we have cars. Like, people wasn't having cars back then. Like, I'm just saying that whatever idea or whatever amount of money that you plant in your head that you want to produce in this world, you can do that. You can do that backed by faith, and you have to have a service to people. You know, you can't just be all in it for yourself. So that's what I learned from the book, y'all. This is an amazing book. I definitely recommend it. It's 275 pages long. It's a pretty good amount of pages, you know. But I remember it was this girl that I met at the gym, right? And you know, I can tell that she had, you know, she had some business experience, and she looked like she had, you know, she was working with some money. She was working with some if she didn't already have it, she was on her way to being like really successful, right? I can tell. So I decided to go on a business meeting with her, right? My first ever business meeting. And we ended up going to a coffee shop. And she was asking me, do I read any books? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm reading Think and Grow Rich. And she was like, oh, no, you shouldn't read that book. No, that's too advanced. And in my head, I'm like, what? So she recommended me read Rich Dad Poor Dad, which I never read, right? Ironically, look, let me tell y'all how crazy this is. She recommended me reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? Which means that's probably on a beginner stage to compare to Think and Grow Rich, which is the advanced stage, right? Boom. Rich Dad Poor Dad didn't really resonate with me when I tried to read it, which is quote unquote a beginner's book, right? In order to manifest riches. I didn't read that whole book. Yet I was able to read the quote unquote advanced book, Think and Grow Rich, before I even read Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? So it's like, go with what you feel is best for you. Don't be out here worrying about what people think, y'all. Don't you know yourself better than anybody. Like, little does she know, I'm an advanced reader. Like, that ass though. Like, I can read my ass off. Like, my comprehension skills is through the roof. When I really sit down and I really understand something, I no longer understand it, I understand it. Like, that was one of my advantages in school, was my reading skills and how good I was able to comprehend things and be able to break them down. And like, come on, man. So I'm just saying that to say, listen to yourself. It's great to have mentors, because I was gonna look at her as a mentor, but like after that meeting, I was like, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could have told me, she could have still recommended me Rich Dad Poor Dad, but she could have asked me, what have I been learning from that book or something? You know? Like, you didn't have to discourage me from reading something that I'm already interested in to get me to want to read something that you want me to read. Like, y'all get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, man, I recommend this book. I think the next book that I'm gonna read, I already have it here. Let me show y'all. It's called Law of Attraction by Michael J. Losier. So yeah, I'm gonna read this book next. You may not be aware of it, but a very powerful force is present in your life. It's called the Law of Attraction. And right now, it's attracting people, jobs, situations, and relationships to you. Learn how to use it deliberately and make it work for you. Yeah, this the one. And when I'm done with this, I'm gonna give a book review on every book that I read. Y'all, I'm gonna give a book review on it. So, yeah, man, I'll see y'all in the next video. Hold on, thumbnail. I'll see y'all in this video, man.